Is love a pain or a pleasure? Spending my free time scrolling through comments, I saw many people complaining, "Oh, love is so painful," and asking me, "Is that what love is all about?" That's a tough question. If I say love is pain, my wife will never forgive me. Some theories are just designed to stir up trouble. If love were truly painful, no one would want it. People don't enjoy emotional abuse. Love should bring joy, even great joy. Just look at all the great poets. Not a single one of them was free from the depths of love. The two sides of love. Here's the thing. Think of the concept of yin and yang. Where there is pain, there is pleasure. And where there is pleasure, pain is always right around the corner. You can't escape it. It's a perfect balance. The very same thing that brings us great joy, excitement, and happiness can also cause us great pain and confusion. In short, we must prepare our hearts to welcome both extremes, the pleasure and the pain, the joy and the sorrow, the ecstasy and the confusion that come with love. If love were all rainbows and sunshine, rest assured, the storm is waiting, ready to strike. Understanding this will help you lessen the feeling of complete devastation and collapse when a relationship ends. Instead, because you accepted this from the start, nothing will be a surprise. No need to get wasted, wallow in despair, or fall apart. Who suffers? You do, first and foremost. So stop doing foolish things. Love, karma, and self-worth. It's so painful. Yeah, I know. As Buddhism teaches, if you don't demand or expect anything, you won't suffer. Meeting and loving someone is a matter of karma and destiny. Without fate, you wouldn't even meet, let alone fall in love. When the time is right, it will happen. If the time isn't right, you can pray to 100 gods and it still won't happen. It's just not your destiny. You can't force it. The rain will stop when it's ready. No amount of complaining will keep you from getting wet. When the karma is fulfilled and the lesson is learned, the cycle ends. Whether you want it or not, it will be so. So when you feel pain in love, just tell yourself that it's karma you must repay, a lesson you must learn, and it will be less painful. If you don't want to repay karma or taste bitter fruit, it's best not to do stupid things that cause others pain. Let's get back to the main point: how to lessen the pain in love. You can't control fate, but fate is kind and still gives you a chance to change your destiny if you work on yourself. It's easy to see. If you want to love or marry a successful, wealthy man who is intelligent, wise, and financially secure, you also need to possess similar qualities. It's even better if you're his equal, but a little less is okay. However, if you're only half or a third of what he is, it won't work out. You will only attract people who are your equals, like attracts like. I don't need to explain that in detail. If you're poor, lazy, and foolish, you will only attract people who are poor, lazy, and foolish. They say matches are made in heaven, but you'll find that people are rarely out of each other's league. Improving your self-worth. Recently, there's been women demanding certain things from men. In my opinion, instead of demanding, you should focus on increasing your own value. When you do that, you'll have the power to choose. Isn't having a choice more exciting and joyful than having to protest for what you want? And if we're talking about karma and attraction, we can't forget about impermanence. Nothing lasts forever. And if you accept that, you won't be as dependent on your relationship. You won't fall apart or become a wreck. A famous online personality once said, "Love is a negotiation, a fair trade." It's incredibly rare to find a case where there are no demands or expectations in return, not even for love itself. That's what I call a muse, someone you love without needing anything from them. Try applying what I've shared to your love life. I can't guarantee it will make you happier, but it might just make you less miserable. Just a little less, because even I still feel a little miserable sometimes, honestly. Getting over a breakup. My friend just called to complain that he had initiated a breakup after a 5-year relationship. He said he had loved the wrong person all this time, and his girlfriend wasn't who he thought she was. I wanted to just ignore him since I was having fun. But oh well, I haven't posted a video in a while. Honestly, I don't care if he loved the right or wrong person, but I'm happy for him. Why? Because at least he recognized he was lost and found a way to solve his problem, even though it hurt. It's better to realize you've been in love with the wrong person than to remain blindly in love with no way out, only to eventually end up broken and miserable anyway. When you get dumped, it's not just miserable, it's humiliating. Whether you initiated it or not, the outcome is the same. The relationship is over. How do you feel? Sad, regretful, nostalgic, lonely, and 1,000 other emotions. You're drowning in that chaotic mess of feelings. Honestly, just let yourself struggle in there like you've been thrown into a cesspool. Sink to the bottom, then use that momentum to rise up. Only by trying to rise will you avoid drowning. Once you get to the surface, you'll realize that the sun is still shining, the wind is still cool, and you can finally accept the fact that it's over. Nobody wants to stay in a cesspool for the rest of cesspool of their lives, right? Once you accept it, get out of there. Don't look back and cleanse yourself. Break all ties with what's over. The past can't come back anyway. It's not your fault and it's not the other person's fault. Simply put, it was a mistake, a wrong relationship, or you were just incompatible. That's all. Think of it that way, and it'll be easier. Don't try to find blame or excuses, and don't regret and lament, if I had done this and you had done that, maybe our relationship wouldn't have ended like this. When your time together is up, the ending is inevitable. You have to learn to accept that it's all temporary. The journey to acceptance and moving on. To prevent this temporary connection from becoming permanent bad karma, please unfriend them on social media, delete their number, and vanish. In short, delete everything. Don't let anything from your old relationship get in your way. You want to forget, but then you get a notification for your anniversary, or you look at old photos and your heart sinks. You cry like your dad just died, and you do all sorts of other destructive things to distract yourself. Social media has many great features, but the best one is the block button. Use it. If you truly want to forget, imagine what would happen if you were to accidentally check their profile after you've moved on and met someone new, and then you're hit with a wave of nostalgia. It will bring up all the sweet memories and painful heartaches. It's the same person, the same eyes, the same lips, the same smile, and you can't resist but to send a message. How are you? What have you been up to? If neither of you has a new partner, you might be able to try again and let bygones be bygones. But if you or they have moved on, you're screwed. The conversation will be, are you happy? I am. That's fine. But what if you're not happy? What would you say? You don't even know what your foolish heart will lead you to say, because no matter what you say, it won't end well. All of this happens because you don't want to forget, or you don't use the block button right away. We can still be friends, you might say. Wrong. I'm being completely serious. Very few people can truly be friends with an ex. To keep that friendship, you need to set clear boundaries in your head, but you can't control what you think. So minimize unnecessary risks and prevent karma from taking you on a long journey. Ways to forget. How do you forget? There are plenty of ways. Keep yourself busy. Work out, focus on tasks you need to finish as soon as possible, and set short-term and long-term goals for your career. Hang out with friends more often. Who knows? Maybe you'll meet a new and wonderful person who is truly the love of your life. Maybe you'll transform into a completely different person. The world keeps turning and life goes on. Even after a breakup, you should still thank your ex. They gave you valuable experiences and lessons for the future, like a teacher. You should meet your old teachers again, but not your exes. When I say no, I mean it's a definite and powerful no. In short, the first days after a breakup are extremely difficult, and everyone goes through it. Everyone has loved, even the wrong person, and everyone has had a breakup. A breakup is an opportunity for you to reflect and learn your lesson. The important thing is to try to balance your emotions and your work so they don't affect your present and future relationships too much. Personal happiness and marriage. Someone asked me whether we can be happy without getting married or even having a partner. We have to look at it objectively. Whether you have a partner or not, whether you're married or not, those are experiences unique to each person. A single person can be perfectly happy, sometimes even happier than someone with a family or a partner, because their life is peaceful and they don't have to deal with the demands of love. In short, whether you choose to be single or get married, you will have lessons to learn. These lessons will not be the same, so to say that a married person is happier than a single person, or that a single person can't be happy, is simply nonsense. A single person is only unhappy when they want to be with someone but can't find a suitable person. That's when they feel pain. But they won't feel pain if they don't have that need. They just want to be alone with their peace. They're happy with the solitude that we call being single. A married person is only unhappy when they want their family to be a certain way. My wife must be this way, my kid must be that way. They forget that life doesn't operate the way we want it to, and they also forget that all things are created by the mind, and happiness and suffering are in the mind. They won't feel pain if they have enough wisdom to reflect and see that external factors don't affect their inner happiness. This means whether you choose to be single or get married, the happiness you feel is the same because it all comes from your mind. The nature of love and acceptance. Can a man or a woman make us happy? At most, they're a temporary solution for a short period of our lives. Seriously, I just remembered my ex. When we were sitting by the lake, she pointed to the water and declared, "If I don't marry you, I'll jump into this lake to prove my eternal love for you." My love story was a long one, huh? Back then, I was so happy thinking she loved me more than her own life. A few months ago, I saw her wedding invitation. She was perfectly fine. She didn't jump into any lake. She lied to me. I see so many cases like this in society. When you first fall in love, you swear you'll be together forever. But once you're married and face some challenges, you're ready to get a divorce. If they can't get a divorce, they'll threaten to die together. It's true that besides life and death, nothing else really matters. If you're not married, you won't have conflicts or fights. If you're not single, you won't be tormented by loneliness. It sounds like a win-win situation, but it's not. If you don't truly understand yourself and life, no matter what you choose, you'll still suffer. There's no superior choice. Life is a journey of lessons. If you don't learn, you'll have to learn it over and over again. Final lesson. If it's fate, you can't avoid it. What you can do is work on yourself and realize that happiness is the process of living, not a destination or a goal you're seeking. Don't think you need a hug just because you feel a cold breeze. Don't be so greedy you eat a fuzzy fruit with its skin on. Just let things happen as they are. It's almost Tet, so learn this sermon and go preach to people who keep nagging you about getting a partner or getting married. It's civilized and reasonable. You can force a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. It's just that your time hasn't come yet. Be careful with the saying, "I love you more than anything in this world." It's a lie. What do you love about them? Their hot body, their beautiful face, their sweet personality, the way they spend money, or their soul? You have to look into this carefully. I always say you end a relationship for the same reason you started it. In other words, a relationship where you don't find them perfect in every single way is better than one where you see 5 or 6 flaws. Loving someone because they're good is not as stable as loving them even though they're not perfect. And you accept that. Acceptance and self-understanding. I love a hidden faux restaurant. I won't tell you the name because you'll all go there and ruin my peaceful breakfast. It's a little selfish, but it doesn't really matter. Let me describe it. Everything is perfect. The bowl of pho is full. The broth is clear and sweet without too much MSG. The noodles are chewy and delicious, and the beef is tender. In short, it's perfect for me. The only downside is that the fried dough sticks are crunchy, not the chewy kind I like. But what's pho without the dough sticks? So even though I don't like the crunchy ones, I always order 2 because it just doesn't taste right without them. It's similar in love. When you love or marry someone, you love and marry everything about them. Their family, personality, appearance, way of thinking, and their bad habits. You may know all of these things or you may not. It's like my favorite bowl of pho. The dough sticks aren't good, but you still have to eat them. True love is truly understanding and accepting everything about a person, including their dark past, bad habits, or selfish thoughts. In short, all the imperfections you see. And the lifespan of a relationship doesn't just depend on karma and fate. It also depends on how well you understand yourself. I'm not saying it's your fault. Now tell me, do you truly understand yourself? Do you really understand your own ego? You don't, because I don't either. We all think we've reached a state of perfect self-awareness. But have we? I realize that my own thoughts often contradict each other. I've always wanted to spoil my wife unconditionally, but sometimes I find myself being competitive with her. And that's how I understand more about my own ego. When the right conditions are met, those hidden thoughts that I've never considered before will emerge. It means I'm not who I thought I was. I love a person because they're pretty, sweet, and naive, but deep down, they might have smelly feet, never bathe, and fart all the time, and I never knew it. You only find these things out after dating for a while or even after getting married. Do I regret it? Loving someone because they fit your type is easy. Anyone can do that. But loving someone even when they have flaws you don't like is difficult. When we discover those flaws, we tend to complain, get annoyed, and get angry. That's when you're loving your own ego, not the other person. Loving what fits your type is easy. Loving what doesn't fit your type is what makes you exceptional. You should remember this if you want to protect your relationship. Unconditional love. I love my wife like a father loves his child. I'm not kidding. It's unconditional love. It's the same way I love my daughter. I always joke that I have two kids. No matter what my daughter does, I will always love her. And no matter how imperfect my wife is, I will always love her. Even when my wife is throwing a tantrum, I laugh at her. Even when she's yelling and screaming about something, I just lie there with a big smile, giving her a back rub or a foot massage. And just like that, she's back to her old self, the person I fell in love with on the very first day. It's extremely difficult to do. You have to gradually get rid of your ego and stop clinging to any traits or factors that you consider imperfect based on your own concept of perfection. If you cling, you'll be annoyed, and you'll suffer, and if you suffer, you'll break up. Love, the gift and the lesson love is both a gift and a lesson. Happiness and joy are the gift. Annoyance and frustration are the lesson. If you learn the lesson long enough, you'll understand more about your own consciousness. You can't expect someone to be perfect when you're not. No one in this world is perfect. So perhaps the only way to protect love is to love someone even when they're not as perfect as you thought they were. I'm not trying to be a life coach, nor am I forcing my ideas on you. You should only consider this advice, not take it too seriously, because your own experience is the most valuable thing. But keep loving, because if you love long enough, you will reach a new level of awareness where you love someone not just because of their good qualities, but also because you love them even when they have smelly feet and bad body odor. If you can reach that level, you can truly be together for 100 years.